Imagine a secret team of codebreakers working in silence, while the fate of the world hung in the balance. Today we'll meet the brilliant minds behind the enigma of codes and secrets and the one man whose genius changed everything. But first, let's find out how algebra can unlock the mysteries of the past and present. But before we dive into the story, allow me to introduce myself. I'm your guide to the fascinating world of math. My mission is to make learning math effortless and enjoyable for everyone. So if you're ready to embark on a thrilling journey through the world of numbers, equations and formulas, then hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and never miss out on any of our exciting adventures. Now let's get started. In the heart of England during the Second World War, a battle raged, not on the front lines, but in the shadows. It was a battle of wits between the Germans and a secret team of codebreakers, led by the enigmatic Alan Turing. Their mission: break the unbreakable, the Enigma code. At the time, communication was critical to the war effort. Messages carrying vital information were sent between military units, but they needed to be coded to keep them safe from prying eyes and ears. Enter Enigma, a machine used by the Germans to encrypt messages with an almost supernatural level of security. It could generate billions of letter combinations every second, making it almost impossible to crack. Each day, the Germans changed the encryption settings, rendering previous decryption attempts useless and requiring new approaches. It was like trying to crack a safe with infinite possible combinations, a seemingly hopeless task. For most, Enigma was an enigma, but not for Alan Turing. He saw the problem not as a dead end, but as a challenge. As a mathematician and computer scientist, he recognized that there had to be a way to crack the code. But how? With each passing day, the stakes grew higher. German U-boats prowled the seas protected by Enigma, sinking merchant ships and disrupting crucial supplies. If left unbroken, Enigma could swing the war in Germany's favor. In the face of this grave threat, the British government assembled a team of the brightest minds at Bletchley Park, a country estate in Buckinghamshire. Among them was Alan Turing, whose unique perspective would change everything. Together, they worked tirelessly, driven by the urgency of the war and the potential consequences of failure. They pored over captured German military manuals, looking for patterns, weaknesses, or anything that could give them an edge. Days turned into weeks, then months, and still Enigma stood strong, its secrets safe within its mechanical heart. Then came a breakthrough that would echo through the corridors of history. Alan Turing and his team had found a way to crack the Enigma code. How did he do it? By thinking like a mathematician. At the time, mathematicians had no fancy calculators or computer software to rely on. They had to do all their calculations manually. This required a great deal of skill and precision, and it was something that Alan Turing excelled at. He was able to use his knowledge of mathematics to come up with innovative ways to break down complex problems into smaller, more manageable parts. He developed new algorithms and techniques for solving problems that had never been solved before. His ability to think mathematically gave him the edge he needed to crack the Enigma code and solve other complex problems. So what exactly did Alan Turing and his team do to crack the Enigma code? One of the first things they did was to build a machine called the bomb. This was an electromechanical device that was designed to test thousands of possible Enigma settings in a matter of minutes. Before the bomb, it would have taken hours of manual labor to test the same number of settings. This gave the codebreakers a huge advantage because it meant that they could quickly eliminate the vast majority of possible settings and focus on the ones that were more likely to be correct. Another thing that helped the codebreakers was the fact that Enigma had some limitations. For example, the machine could only produce a limited number of letter combinations per day. This meant that the codebreakers didn't have to test all possible settings all the time. They could instead focus on the settings that were most likely to be used on a given day. Additionally, Enigma had a feature called the plug word, which allowed users to swap certain letters before they were encrypted. This feature was supposed to add an extra layer of security, but it actually made it easier for the codebreakers to figure out the settings. That is because the plugboard created a kind of mirror image of the Enigma machine that the codebreakers could use to decode messages. Of course, cracking the Enigma code was still a monumental task. Even with the help of these machines and techniques, it took a lot of time, effort, and ingenuity. But without the ability to think mathematically, it wouldn't have been possible. The impact of cracking Enigma was profound. Allied forces gained the upper hand, turning the tide of the war. U-boat attacks were thwarted, vital military plans were uncovered, and lives were saved. Though secrecy surrounded their work, the codebreakers at Bletchley Park played a pivotal role in securing victory. And at the center of it all was Alan Turing, the man who dared to think differently and change the course of history. But Turing's story doesn't end at Bletchley Park. After the war, he continued to make significant contributions to the field of computer science. He laid the foundations for artificial intelligence and helped to develop some of the earliest computers. Sadly, he was persecuted for his homosexuality at a time when it was illegal. But his legacy lives on in the countless ways that his work has shaped our world. So the next time you use a computer or send an encrypted message, take a moment to remember Alan Turing and the power of mathematical thinking. After the war, historians estimated that breaking Enigma may have shortened the conflict by 2 years. 2 years. Can you imagine the countless lives that were saved, the battles that were avoided during those 2 years? Without the contributions of Alan Turing and his team of codebreakers, who knows how long the war would have dragged on or how many lives would have been lost. It is important to remember that although Alan Turing was the one who was most often credited with breaking the Enigma code, he wasn't working alone. There were hundreds of other people who worked tirelessly at Bletchley Park and other secret locations to break the German codes. These people were some of the brightest minds in Britain, and they came from all walks of life. There were mathematicians, linguists, logicians, and more. They worked together in relative obscurity, knowing that their work was vital to the war effort. The story of Alan Turing is a testament to the power of human ingenuity. It shows us what can be accomplished when people from all walks of life come together to solve seemingly impossible problems. It also reminds us of the importance of recognizing and celebrating the contributions of those who serve, especially those who serve behind the scenes. Today, we live in a world that is deeply reliant on technology. From the smartphones in our pockets to the computers in our homes, we are surrounded by devices that were once the stuff of science fiction. Much of this technology would not be possible if it were not for the work of codebreakers, like Alan Turing. So the next time you use a device that seems like magic to you, take a moment to remember Alan Turing and the other codebreakers who helped to win the war and shape the world we live in today. Can you imagine a world without computers or the internet? Without Turing, that might have been our reality. Take a moment to appreciate the profound impact of his work on our daily lives. And if you've enjoyed this glimpse into history's hidden heroes, don't forget to hit subscribe for more untold stories that shaped our world. Together, we can uncover the secrets of the past and inspire future generations of explorers and innovators. Thanks for watching. Keep exploring and stay curious. Until next time.